Welcome to the Explainer. Today, in this quick 15-minute dive into the intense link between stress and sleep, we are unpacking a highly frustrating yet incredibly common phenomenon. It plagues so many of us, especially as we hit midlife. You know the exact drill. You go to bed completely exhausted, you fall asleep just fine, but then, boom, your eyes pop open in the pitch dark. It's 3 a.m. again. Your mind is already racing, your heart might be pounding, and restful sleep feels literally impossible to get back to. Well, today we're going to explore how unresolved stress hijacks your body's biological signals right in the middle of the night. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap. We're going to cover the 3 a.m. wake-up phenomenon, the biology behind the disruption, evening habits you should avoid, food and sleep pressure, the 3 a.m. supplement stack, and finally, your 7-day sleep plan. Section 1, the 3 a.m. wake-up phenomenon. Let's look at why this actually happens. So, why do you always wake up at 3 a.m.? It's the question that absolutely drives us crazy when we're staring at the ceiling, right? I want to assure you right off the bat, this isn't just a random occurrence. And more importantly, it is definitely not a lack of willpower or some failure on your part to just relax. We've all experienced this midnight misery. You're lying there and your mind just starts churning, processing work deadlines or family stress. Your body feels oddly alert, and sometimes your heart is racing like you're about to run a sprint. The worst part is that sheer heavy exhaustion you feel, combined with the absolute inability to fall back asleep. This is where we see just how deeply stress and sleep are tangled up. Your brain doesn't just have a simple off switch, and in those quiet, dark hours, your unresolved stress can feel incredibly loud. But I really want you to take this quote from our source material to heart. Your body isn't broken. It just needs the right signals. That chronic waking, it's actually a biological mystery that we can absolutely solve together. Your body is just missing the specific cues it needs to feel safe enough to stay in deep rest. Moving to Section 2, biology behind the disruption, the dreaded 3 a.m. alarm. First up, we have to understand something called sleep pressure. Think of sleep pressure like a physical weight that builds up all day long. From the literal second you wake up, a compound called adenosine starts accumulating in your brain. The higher the adenosine, the sleepier you feel. On a good night, this pressure gradually drops, so you wake up feeling refreshed. But sleep pressure is only half the equation. The other half is your body's 24-hour hormonal cycle. And when that delicate 24-hour cycle breaks down, that's when we meet the 3 a.m. biological culprits. For a lot of folks in midlife, the primary stress hormone cortisol becomes highly unstable. Instead of rising gently in the morning to wake you up naturally, built-up stress causes it to spike in the middle of the night. At the exact same time, your blood sugar might dip. Your body interprets that dip as a literal life-or-death emergency, and it sounds a loud wake-up alarm. Add in some natural age-related hormone shifts, like drops in estrogen and progesterone, which usually keep you calm, and you've got the perfect biological storm for waking up at 3 a.m. Section 3, evening habits to avoid, the mistakes we really need to stop making. There is a super delicate balance between exercise and sleep. Movement is a huge tool, but timing is literally everything. Morning walks and evening yoga are great because they activate your calm, parasympathetic nervous system. But look at what hurts: intense cardio or heavy lifting after 7 p.m. Doing that raises your core body temperature and spikes your cortisol for hours afterward. It directly sabotages your body's ability to wind down. Beyond late workouts, there are these hidden evening saboteurs just hiding in plain sight. Sure, a glass of wine might help you fall asleep initially, but alcohol fragments your sleep cycles and is notorious for triggering that exact 3 a.m. cortisol spike we just talked about. Eating sugar late? That causes a blood sugar spike, followed by a crash, which again wakes you up. Mindlessly scrolling your phone exposes you to blue light, which crushes your melatonin production, and the mental stimulation just keeps your brain on high alert. And if your bedroom is too warm, you're literally fighting your body's biological need to cool down for deep sleep. Section 4, food and sleep pressure, using nutrition for rest. So the magic number here is 20 to 30 grams. That's the exact amount of protein you should aim for with your evening meal. Why? Because hitting this target with foods like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, eggs, or turkey beautifully stabilizes your blood sugar overnight, and a stable blood sugar level drastically reduces the chance of that emergency 3 a.m. wake-up signal we discussed earlier. Alongside your protein, you really want to load your nutritional toolkit with these sleep-supporting heroes. Magnesium-rich foods like spinach and pumpkin seeds are incredible for muscle relaxation and keeping the nervous system calm, which is huge during midlife hormonal shifts. Tart cherry is actually one of the very few natural food sources of melatonin.
Herbal teas like chamomile send a natural soothing signal to the brain, and healthy fats like walnuts or half an avocado help keep that blood sugar perfectly stable all night long.
Section 5. The 3 a.m. Supplement Stack. How to get targeted support. Now, when chronic stress, poor recovery, or age just completely weaken your body's natural sleep signals, sometimes you need extra support. But please, rather than taking harsh products that basically force you unconscious, our source material points to a specific 3 a.m. reset formulation. It uses 5 clinically studied ingredients that work together as a team. They don't force sleep. Instead, they naturally signal to your body that it is safe to stay asleep by calming the exact biological systems that are malfunctioning. Let's methodically break down this stack and see what these 5 ingredients actually do. First up, 3,000 milligrams of glycine helps lower your core body temperature, which is a massive signal for deep sleep. Then, 750 milligrams of taurine supports your nervous system, stepping in to stop that sudden alert feeling and racing heart caused by stress. Next is 200 milligrams of L-theanine. This promotes calming alpha brainwaves to quiet down racing thoughts. Then we have 50 milligrams of apigenin, which is derived from chamomile. It binds to GABA receptors to give you a gentle, natural calm. And finally, 75 milligrams of sodium citrate supports your overnight hydration and mineral balance. Having all 5 of these in one place is a real game changer because it completely replaces the need for a cabinet full of separate bottles. Section 6. Your 7-day sleep plan. It's time to reclaim your rest. Look, consistency is everything here. You literally have to train your nervous system to expect sleep. So here's a very realistic evening timeline for you. At 8 p.m., dim your overhead lights to signal to your brain that night is coming. At 8:30 p.m., put the phone face down in another room, cut out the blue light and the mental stress. At 9 p.m., if you're using the 3 a.m. reset powder, take it now so it has time to work its magic. At 9:15 p.m., do about 10 to 15 minutes of gentle, light stretching for physical relaxation. And at 9:45 p.m., get your room ready. Now, this specific number might surprise you, 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the scientifically ideal room temperature. Remember, your body must drop its core temperature to maintain deep sleep. Setting your thermostat to this chilly range gives your biology a massive head start. Okay, but what if you do all of this perfectly and you still wake up? You need an emergency protocol to calm your stress response. First rule, do not panic. Try slow breathing. In for 4 counts, hold for 4, out for 8. This directly triggers your calming parasympathetic nervous system. If you wake up hot, cool down with a fan or a damp cloth. Keep your eyes closed, and whatever you do, do not check the clock or your phone. Clock watching just spikes your anxiety and cortisol. If you're still awake after 20 minutes, just get up quietly and read a book in dim light until you naturally feel sleepy again. Which brings us right back to that fundamental truth. Your body isn't broken. It's just reacting to stress, hormonal shifts, and mixed signals. By tweaking your evening habits, prioritizing stabilizing foods, and maybe leaning on some targeted nutritional support, you can completely rewrite those signals. The biology is crystal clear. The only question is, are you ready to give your body the signals it actually needs to stay asleep tonight? Start implementing this routine, stay consistent, and reclaim your rest. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and hey, here is to a full, uninterrupted night of sleep.